All right, good afternoon. We thank the Lord for you on today and look forward to continuing considering the life of Joseph. Been kind of haggling about with him for some time. I want to zero in on these next thoughts from his life. The thought that I want to convey today has to do with obedience. Um, in his case, it was obedience to his father, Jacob, to go seek out his brothers who had gone on to Shechem, city known as Shechem, to feed their father's flock. They headed out, and in their heart, I tell you, there was a great deal of hatred and envy and malice, and all types of stuff that their hearts wasn't right when they headed out. And Joseph was aware of it. Joseph was not clueless to the feelings that his own brothers had towards him. Don't even know if he knew that his dad was going to call him and and have him go check on his brothers. Uh, but his dad did. His dad sought him out, uh, called him, and said, I need you to go check on your brothers. Interestingly, when you look at the text, Joseph doesn't use words to indicate that um, he was concerned about the feelings that his brothers had for him. But no question, if you look at the narrative up to when his father called him and told him to go check on his brothers, you know without question that there was a lot of envy and hatred, and uh, it was bad. You want to talk about a dysfunctional family? It was it was exactly that. Joseph goes though. Joseph goes, and you cannot miss that. His dad told him to go do something, so he was only 17 years old, and he did exactly what his dad told him to do. He gets to where his brothers were supposed to be. Shechem traveled from Horeb about 45, 50 miles or so. And when he got to Shechem, he found his brothers nowhere. The, the text indicates that um, he didn't find them. And when you zero in on the verse 15, I believe it's verse 15, Genesis 37, you see a phrase in that verse that indicates that Joseph was going through it. The obedience of him going and doing what his dad told him to do did not exempt him or keep him from the affliction of not knowing what to do next, having not found his brothers. Just imagine you going where your dad has told you to go. And as soon as you get there, you're expecting to find what your dad said you would find. And you don't find it. Just think about the emotions that would surface. Like, what in the world am I? Not to mention how far he traveled. You see the next affliction on the heels of the many times he was afflicted before this. Just because we're obedient, it does not mean that we're going to be exempt, that we're going to be kept from affliction. God had a remedy for it, though. That's the amazing thing. God had a remedy. And that remedy was there was a man that showed Joseph what he needed to do. Spoke words to him saying, I overheard him saying that they were going to go to Dothan. So if you go to Dothan, you'll be able to find your brothers. Of course, Joseph, he heads out and he finds his brothers. Joseph, though, found his brothers by being obedient to this man's words. It delivered him from the affliction of not knowing what to do next, not finding his brothers where he expected to find them. I want you to just think about that. I want you to consider that with whatever you have in front of you that's causing you a bit of affliction, causing you some pain. That thing that you're dealing with right now in front of you that's causing you some problems in the peace department. You're being afflicted by that thing. Some pain servicing, whatever it is. You need to keep being obedient. If you've been obedient, utilizing the blood whenever you failed, keep being obedient. Even though Joseph felt frustrated, not knowing what to do about the latest affliction that was in front of him, God gave him a way out. From a man who I'm sure he didn't even know. Text says it was just a certain man found him. Anywho, pray God's blessing upon you. Stay with us as we continue to go forward. Wish you Godspeed from Great Bridge Ministry.